done for yourselves. I hope that you have enjoyed the dope experiences, the dope DJs, the fire speakers, the incredible guided meditation, the TED Talks, the workshops, the panel discussions. And now I am here with the Akia Collins and the Cortesia Oxford to break down this thing we call business branding. And we need this because before we step into entrepreneurship, we didn't know what branding was, right? Maybe marketing, but branding, what? So I'm happy we have the gurus on the line today to get us right, and to unpack the things we need to understand in business branding. So I'm going to shut up and let these ladies introduce themselves, right? Cortesia, we'll start with you. I really want to know about your path, right? Like how you got into business branding in the first place, how you stepped into the industry.
Yes, so I'm Cortesia Oxford. I didn't know what branding was either when I first started. I just knew I liked things to be in alignment. I've literally probably worked in every industry from retail to I even used to work at Six Flags at one point in local colleges. I actually started doing this because I was working at Morehouse College, and one of the Alumni Association, I was real cool with them, and they wanted a t-shirt design. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do it. I just started off being techie at first. And they were like, this is an actual career. I was like, shut up. So then one of my mentors that I looked up to from when I was in the Upward Bound program, she was the admissions person at the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Nice.
I started going there and I learned so much about design, like the design aspects, making sure things were in alignment. But the branding part came later when I started looking at so many people that were just compiling a bunch of crap onto one area. Like, let me get this one-off thing. Let me get this one-off thing. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I was like, it just started looking deformed. And I actually shied away from branding for a while because everybody kept using it. They were like, I'm a branding person. I was like, how, sis? How? And I was like, yeah, like how you in branding? What does that mean?
Right.
So I really had to go through and search for that. And when I found out the actual definition, when I quit my job that I got cursed out on December of last year, yeah, I was working a job in healthcare, and the customer actually cursed me out. And he cursed me out because I couldn't move fast enough. And like within that time period, somebody got me the opportunity to get on Clubhouse. And I was like, you know what? Bump this. I'm done. I'm out. And I went and I became the branding architect. I started going on there and just pushing out everything that I know out there. And yeah, I'm here now.
Oh, fire. And kudos to you for taking an experience like that and saying, you know what, I have agency. Like, I'm good enough to do this on my own. I love to hear stories where people just like, yeah, I'm betting on me. And then that wasn't necessarily this long, drawn out plan. Cause that was me too, sis, right? Like one day I looked up and said, oh, y'all think I'm gonna wait for promotions just because I'm fired? Like, oh, okay, I'm out, right? So I think that's incredible as well. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Akia, swerving over to you, Mama Sita. What does your path look like, and how did you get into branding and the industry itself?
So it's crazy, how you're doing something and you don't even realize that you're doing it.
Yeah.
This started, no joke, off a divorce. My ex-husband, he was just like, nobody want to hear you. Nobody want to know about you. You ain't gonna make it. So I actually started this company roughly over 6 years ago before I really touched it, before I really knew what it was gonna be. And so I'm retired from the military. I was HR for 16 years. So now everybody's coming to me like, we need your help. We know you know how to run things, like help us out. Well, I started writing resumes during the pandemic. I had the resume company before. It started off as Interview Me Now. I was teaching people indirectly how to brand themselves for companies to get jobs. So if you really think about it, I'm teaching you how to present your brand yourself, because you are the CEO of self, right? So we're teaching that. And then somebody came to me and said, hey, I need help with my resume. Can you help me? Sure, I could write. You know, being HR, you have to write.
Yeah.
Boom. Now I'm doing resumes. And then my cousin was like, stop playing on you sleeping on yourself. Let's go. So then it came again. So I ended up taking a regional position for HR, managing 3 casinos. Okay, cool. Let's go. I'm gonna get it. 5th weekend, boom, there goes COVID. COVID was like, homegirl. So I can say this is a moment of transparency. When you go from making $9,000 a month for basically doing nothing,
right?
Because I was a $9,000 a month employee salaried, $6K, you know, I get over and I'm like, damn, you know, how I'm gonna feed my babies. So now I'm writing resumes, right? Who knew during the pandemic I would write 250 resumes by myself? 98% of my people have gotten jobs. Most of them didn't get jobs on the strength of they didn't take the tips. And that's fine too, because what I give you is what you got. But when I'm looking into that, if you know anything about resumes are not written. Remember back in the Gap when we first started applying for jobs, it was objective statements.
Yeah.
I'm here to get a job. I'm ready to facilitate this career. We know why you here. You applied. Okay,
right.
What's next?
Right.
Your branding statement. What do you have to bring to this company? Who are you? Why are you here? What can you do for me? What pain point are you solving for me as the employer? So now I'm writing branding statements on 250 resumes. And then I had a light bulb moment. Everybody's like, oh my God, you took your company, you flipped it. How did you do it? Well, I was authentically me because I talk about my kids, I talk about myself, and before you know it, you've built a brand for yourself that people enjoy.
Right.
But the flip side of it, to monetizing, you have to figure out who you're talking to and if they want to listen. And it's the same with a resume. Do those people, they have 5.7 seconds to read the top part of that resume and decide if they want to deal with you. And that's the same with branding. You got 5.7 seconds when I get to your page to catch me. After that first not even 5, if I look at it and I scroll, that's it. But if I look at it and I keep scrolling through your stuff and not past it, I facilitated the foundational point of building my brand compass with you while you're here. And that's kind of like how it kind of all unfolded for me. Like I didn't have a job. I had income because I'm a hustler, I'm a mama. So we got to feed these babies.
Yeah.
But as far as I've seen so many people break their brands with, well, what I do on my personal page, it don't got nothing to do with my business page. Baby girl, it has everything to do with their business page because we want to see when we represent your brand, i.e. wearing your bundles, your hair, your jewelry, your clothes, speaking your verbiage. I don't want to look like a fool when I do it. Yeah. So it very much makes so because I'm following you in your brand. So that's how I got here, and I wouldn't change it. I'm glad I'm here. I think we all needed it. We need it.
Yeah. Congratulations to you for taking something as devastating, even when you know you're doing the right thing, as divorce, right? And saying, nah, I'm going for everything you thought I couldn't. Kudos to you, and I resonate with that too. So man, I already feel just like I'm at home with my sisters, you know.
That's it.
I love it, and you're alluding to something very interesting, right? Because not everybody know what branding is, right? But Akia, you started unpacking it a little bit, saying when I go to your package, right? Like, what is your verbiage, right? Like, what matters to you? Who are you, et cetera, right? So just high level, right? If you could give people a 1 or 2 sentence definition, right, in your own way, in your own terms of what branding is. What is branding for people who don't understand what that is? Akia, let's go back to you first.
To me, branding is what people say when you're not in the room. And I think Jeff Bezos, that's always what I go to. It's forever. So when you're not around to represent it, what does it stand up and say? That's how I feel about branding. I feel like that's it.
Powerful. Yeah, that's powerful. Cortesia, what about you? What would you define branding to be?
For me, I totally agree with everything she said. But I also agree with the ability to be able to attract your ideal customer or with your messaging and your voice and being, as my favorite auntie would say, authentic as fuck.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
the thing that a lot of people fail to do is that, and I did a live on this the other day, where people are so entrapped in, I want to be viral, or I want to go through and do all of this. And I'm like, why you want to be viral and you don't have any processes and procedures set up where, as a part of your branding, like a part of the branding is making sure you got the process and procedures, the customer experience, all these different levels, so that when you do get 50,000 people that's shopping with you, you don't fold. Like, I don't think people pay attention to that, and they're like, I want to go viral, when they need to focus on their ability to influence. If you're able to influence people and add value to their lives, and that value nurtures them, and they can understand and respect you as an authority, then they know you can solve their problems. And that what builds the solid foundation of what branding is. How I identify with you. Anybody that's watching this, how do you identify with anybody that's speaking? We both in the same industry, and guess what? I don't care. A lot of people focus on saturation and competition. That's silly. That's silly. If you brand yourself correctly and you brand yourself authentic as fuck, nobody can negate that you know who I am. It's people that don't even know my name for real. They probably be like, they'll say, oh, what is your name is that? People don't know my name. They only know me as the branding architect. That's it. And I'm okay with that, because that's my foundation for that. And I'm going to show up authentic as fuck and continue to show up so people understand who I am and what I serve, and who I help.
Gems, because you're right. The fallacy when people start entrepreneurship, and I'm a coach and consultant, so I see people on both sides. People want help get it done. People like, nah, do this for me. They make the mistake of trying to sound like the people who, are already out there. And Walmart is not trying to sound like Louis Vuitton. They shouldn't, because Cortesia said it. Their ideal customers are different. Somebody is looking for price competitiveness. I don't care about the design. I don't care about the color. I don't care if it's plastic or nylon, right? I need it to be functional. So Walmart knows how to talk to those people. Louis Vuitton, it is about the design. It is about the status, right? It is about luxury, right? I need to be able to talk to you differently. And I can't talk to you like I'm talking to the people at Walmart, because you're going to say, nah, I'm missing with that. And the same is true for everything else, right? Like, Amazon is not CVS. One is branded as, being a well-defined in a particular niche, in a particular industry thing. And Amazon is, I'm gonna be everywhere you are, sis, right?
That's it.
Right? So thank you, ladies, for unpacking that, right? It is yes when you're not in the room. Like, what are people associating you with? What pain point are you solving, right? We think about Bill Gates, we talking about tech, we talking about computers, like, right? Like that, his name is associated with that pain point and that need, right? And like Cortesia said, like, bro, you got to through and through know who you are, so that every point in the journey, when you go from 0 to 100, right, overnight, you ready for that. And they see a consistent theme all the way throughout, so you get them to the cart, right? We got to get them to the cart, right?
That's it.
Okay, you ladies are dropping bars. Love it. So I imagine that getting to this point where you are very, very clear about who you serve, right? And what impact you want to make on the world. I imagine getting there was not always easy, right? And there might have been some bumps and some hard roads, and so I want to start with you, Cortesia. What was one of the hardest parts of your journey in entrepreneurship and building your branded business?
Being real with myself. I was showing up real for everybody else. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I can help you. I can do this. And I was pouring so much into everybody else, but I didn't have anything in reserve for myself. So like going through and doing this, a part of that was I was pricing myself piss poor. I mean, piss poor. If you wanted a website for $200, I was like, oh yeah, I'm putting in 8+ hours of work, $200, I'm killing myself, giving you everything, pouring out myself. And it took for one of the ladies I was working with, and this is what, since I got on Clubhouse, she kept messaging me. She would send me purses and bags. She sent me like $150 one time, and then she called me to celebrate because she was like, I made $4,000 in a week. I was like, are you serious? And I broke down and cried because I was like, I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna pay daycare.
Right.
I don't know how I'm going to pay this. And I had to literally break down and say, you know what? I need a coach. I need a coach. Like, this can't keep going on where I'm getting in my own way and I'm sitting up here. I can help you make $4,000 in a week, and I'm sitting here crying because I gotta pay $200. It was just $200. I couldn't get out of my own way to get to that point. So I was like, you know what? And after I got with a coach, I made $5,000 in 1 month. And I was like, okay, I did it. But there are other things I had to unlock too. Like, I had to deal with my issues with money. I had to deal with my personal issues with money because your girl been evicted several times from relationships, from myself, like trying to take care of, you know, all of this, trying to be Shiro. I was broken. I didn't have a good personal relationship with money, so that rolled over to my business money. Didn't have a good relationship with that. I wasn't being honest. I kept trying to pay for this and pay for that, hold up to the subscriptions. My subscriptions get canceled. I can't pay for this month. I couldn't efficiently run my business because I wasn't willing to have the hard conversation with myself about the money situation as well. So the overhead, what it actually costs me to build the business, what it actually costs me to go through and say, this is what I'm paying for monthly, this is what I'm paying for weekly. And that actually pushed me to the point where I started getting into lifetime subscriptions. And when I got into lifetime subscriptions, I was like, oh, I could pay for you one time and never pay again. And it got worse because I started pouring more into the lifetime subscriptions, right? I spent this year alone like $1,500 on lifetime subscriptions because I was trying them out. Luckily, there's a tax loophole that will allow this to be written off on my taxes. But literally, I spent all this money trying out different software to solve a problem when the problem was me. It was my processes. I didn't have these things laid out. So I'm going to say my major roadblock in all of this has been me, mindset shifting, being real with myself, and just being okay. Like, if I fail, I'm looking at that failure as, okay, what can I do better? I'm not looking at it as I failed. Let me sit here, lick my wounds for 6 months. No, I'm gonna lick my wounds. I'm going to be comfortable with crying. At one point, I was not comfortable with crying, y'all. I felt like I had to be a strong Black woman, and strong Black women don't show fear. They don't show tears.
That's it. That's what we learn, right? That's what we learned when we grew up, right? You can't, don't cry. It's weak. You strong. Your grandma did it with less. You got it. No, ma'am, I need to cry because y'all pissing me off. Yeah. Today was a hard day. I gotta cry. If I don't cry, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Please let me cry. Please, because it's okay to cry. Cortesia, don't feel bad. Sometimes I go get in the shower when my kids are sleeping. I have to cry. You need to cry. If you don't release that tension on your soul, you're gonna crash and burn before you even get the first tear out later.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I cry now. I don't give a damn.
But I had to, I didn't understand that. And then it really took for me, I was in a relationship with somebody and I was so focused on being this strong Black woman, pursuing my career. And we ended up breaking up. And I was like, dang, like what happened? And normally, like my baby daddy, when we broke up, I was like, okay, I know I enabled him. I understood that issue. I got that. But with him, we was best friends beforehand. So when it got down to the point where I was looking at stuff, I was like, oh my God, why didn't I feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable with somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? With my best friend. It's because I was afraid that he would see weakness and he would hurt me. So all of this stuff rolls over my personal life, my business life, relationships. If I don't get me together, this business can't survive. This lady literally said to me, do you have enough money on reserve right now that if you got sick, you wouldn't have to work? Or if you take a vacation, you got this money on reserve. Do you make money on autopilot? And I was like, no, I don't. And I had to be real with myself. I had to be honest. Because a lot of times we can be honest with everybody else. Hey, girl, yes, okay. But having that conversation with yourself when you sitting in your room and you like, I fucked up. I'm doing something wrong and I need help. And that's what I had to do. I had to reach out. I have a therapist. I have a coach. I'm dealing with a tax person, an accountant, and realizing my weaknesses, realizing my strengths, and going through this is uncomfortable as hell. It's very uncomfortable, but I'm going to respect myself more in the end by doing the hard work now.
Man, you are preaching on a Saturday, Khadijah. Like, so much is in that. And the first thing I want to acknowledge is this parallel that exists for us and Big Mama and them, right? Like, we saw them being strong, right? And we heard the stories about Big Mama being abused. And we heard the stories about Big Mama being cheated on. And the way she laughed when she told it made us laugh. So we were desensitized to that. And nobody checked on Big Mama. And then Big Mama died. And then we grew up, we became Big Mama. We was like, damn, this shit horrible. You know, but we still try to think what Big Mama did. Right? Like, damn, this shit lonely as hell. And his lazy ass doing my back. But we gonna smile like Big Mama did, right? And the powerful thing that you're doing is showing your children something else. And you're gonna become a big mama, you know? And they gonna know how to be in tune with their emotions and say what they need and set boundaries, man. And say, oh no is a full sentence, actually, right? So what you are doing is so powerful. I resonated with it. I resonate with it so much. And I thank you for being so honest. One thing I love about entrepreneurship and what we're doing right now, versus what we learn in corporate spaces, is we can talk about what we make. So it ain't no secret. They keep us bound in those spaces because you don't know that you're getting paid 50% less than the brother sitting next to you, right? Not even right? So why, you know, you don't know that, right? You can't complain about your boss without somebody snitching and getting rewarded for being the mold. But we can have these honest conversations, right? And then we realize if we doing it all, we doing it wrong. Oh, there's a coach for that? Oh, bet, right? Oh, I can identify my weaknesses and outsource that shit? Oh, bet. Oh, therapy can help me like articulate. There's vocabulary for this stuff. It's called trauma. Oh, bet, right? So this is so important. This is shaking the earth right here, right? Because this, what you are doing is the beginning of something that's going to change our legacy, right? It's going to change our lineage, lifetimes from now. So thank you. Akia, what about you? What has been one of the hardest parts of this entrepreneurial journey for you?
The hardest part was knowing when you've outgrown your space and how it looks. So just like Cortese, it's so funny that God put us together because we literally, I feel like we all have walked the same path, literally bad relationships, understanding trauma, being cheated on, and having the audacity to stay. No real reason, the audacity, because you think you're wrong if you give up on your relationship. No, fuck that. I'm gone because I know I have a lot to offer and I'm tired of breaking my brand. Because every time I let somebody come in and do me wrong, I just gave you the ability to break me. So I think in branding and how I figured out what my flaw was, I had to learn how to fail up. Failure is fine. You can fail every day, but when you fail every day, are you failing up or are you failing back? My biggest thing is to fail up. So when I first started this first branding journey, my first client $600. I just want to try. Like, okay, I know how this looks. I know if it was me, I'm a visual person. But then I got to the point where I read the 99 Black Secrets of Marketing, right? And I want to say it's 99 chapters, but it's literally 99 pages, you know, so to speak. And in that book, he says, you should never be comfortable charging anybody something that you wouldn't charge, you know, wouldn't pay yourself. So if you're going to pay $100 to invest in yourself, you shouldn't have a problem paying $100 to invest in something for, you know, by how it keeps flopping. Well, for me, I'm like, damn, you know, I want in my vision of branding, I want my situation to be a one-stop shop. I want you to get your brand design. I want you to get your branding compass, your foundation, your rebrand. I want to do your website, not me personally do the website, but outsource it, right? I want to do everything in-house. I want us to be a one-stop shop. And I want to be to that point where I'm charging $30,000 a client. Because I had a friend who went through it and I'm seeing everything she's doing and I loved it. And I'm like, damn, this shit is amazing. Like, I could do that. So I went through the marketing secrets, did it. And I'm like, damn, I'm undercharging. This girl, I literally took one girl, she quit her job in July, right? She came to the Brandon Bennett Academy. That girl is making $7,000 a month. Average client, $160 because she does nails. Imagine, and here's the cool part. She didn't even get everything housed with me. I didn't do her website. I didn't have my team do her website because I wasn't there just yet. But now that I'm doing that, I'm housed, I've partnered, I've outsourced. These last 3 months have been outsourcing, trying people out. Okay, my first failure was not having a team. And we don't talk about that in this industry enough. Entrepreneurship is hard as fuck. I don't care who you are. You have to understand when you're failing and when you fail up, how do you put the best people in your corner so you can succeed? Because the greatest thing about my failures and my speed bumps, I've always been a strong friend. If you call me Casey, if you come right now, Kia, I want to bake this cake. Well, get in the kitchen and bake this cake, ma'am. What you need me to send you? Do I need to Instacart you something? Do I need to come over there and measure? I'm that type of support system because that's how I was raised. But I didn't have that support system for me. Right. So I had to go out and get it. That's where I failed. I didn't have the proper people backing me. I could back everybody else, 10 toes down, eyes closed, wig on the counter. I'm going to show up. But when it came time for a Kia to need that support, I had to go outsource it. And what it did for me, it showed me a good gist of my failures. Thank God for failure. If you don't fail, how do you know if you're growing? We know what the money scale looks like. We know what a $15,000, $20,000 month looks like. We know that. But you still fail if you don't understand how to improve or when you have to let something go. So for me, what I actually had to let go of was my first baby, and that's the Resume Chop Shop. I'm letting it go because when I do the finance part of the Resume Chop Shop, I have to basically see 6 customers before I can see one branding package. And that's too much. That's too much time in the sense of for something I don't love. I don't have passion there. So my speed bump was understanding that all money ain't good money and learning how to make the money that I'm passionate about so that money will come. That was my failure. Like literally, like I own 3 businesses. I have the Brandon Bennett Academy, I have a rental property company, and I have the Resume Chop Shop. Well, the Resume Chop Shop got my name out there. Right. Now I need to push for branding because that's my passion. I love the ability to make anybody around me better. I love to teach you that the network that you've established really builds your net worth. I love that. And I love the fact that it's kind of behind the scenes because just like Cortesia, I'm the Brandon Bandit. They know a Kia, but the Brandon Bandit is always being tagged. People are like, they like the name, but even within that name, I have to grow. I have to grow. So, you know, for me, my biggest thing was understanding my growth, understanding when I failed. But when I failed, there's nothing. People get so discouraged that, oh my God, I'm a failure. Let me tell you something what failure and anxiety and depression will do. It'll have y'all looking at me like I did in April, strung out, overweight, with stress eating because I didn't know where I want my business to go. I'm like, damn, I know I want to do this. And my boyfriend was like, listen here, Brandon Bennett, because that's how he talks to me. Brandon Bennett, you got this. What's the problem? People love you. They're here for you. You just got to figure out, what do you want to do? So I was like, well, the biggest problem is being home. I need a workspace. Well, let's go find an office. You act like we don't make the money. Let's go. And now I got an office space. Now I'm turning the corner. I have a whole facility. I have a team. I've been in newspaper articles. I've had a grand opening, like things that I never envisioned for myself because I was so trapped in my mind with that anxiety and the depression piece, you know, and I've always dealt with it. And that's another thing about entrepreneurship. I had my first $15,000 month, right? And the coolest thing, this is why this one's important to me. I've had $15,000 months before, but this is the first $15,000 month I've had in the brand minute with 3 clients, which is a big deal because I've done a lot less work, a lot less stress, and it came to me when I prayed, I manifested, I paid my tithes like I'm supposed to, showed up and did what I'm supposed to do. And people be like, how hard do you really want to work for that dollar, in a sense of automating your system, automating your processes, outsourcing everything? We always feel like we have to be so strong and do everything. No, you don't. It is okay to partner. It's okay to understand that when you partner with somebody to enhance that price and make it an experience, because branding is an experience. Yeah. We all think about it. Walmart didn't always do great. McDonald's didn't always do great, but they understood what they had to do. They understood their assignment. We want to be the largest in the world. How are we going to do that? They had a shit ton of failures. We just don't know about them. But if we go read those financial documents for the year, I bet you will see them then if you know how to read one. And just like Cortez, I did the whole 9 yards. I rebranded, new name. I have a whole accounting team now. I was like, oh shit, Mama, I made it. I have a team. I have an accountant. I have a tax prep. I have a financial advisor. Kia Collins built a portfolio this year. Never thought I would see that. And, you know, we get so excited about wanting to be great, but then we really sit down and plan what the greatness should look like. That's where we fail. We don't plan. We see and we go. And that's a problem.
Fire. And I love that you talk about, you know, kind of things like putting certain things down or changing your name, right? Like if we think about what's happening in the news lately with Facebook changing their name from Facebook to Meta, right? They are looking towards the future, and they know that data is the future. I say data is the currency of the future, right? So we're experiencing this now. We see it happening, but in 15 years, the next generation, they're gonna know they used to be called Facebook, right? They're like, what you talking about, Grandma? They was called Facebook. Okay, girl, getting back to Meta now, right? So I think that's very important to tell Black females, especially, right? Like, allow yourself to evolve, right? Like you said, Akia, allow yourself to outgrow spaces. It is necessary. Yeah. It is necessary. And yeah, I think you said all that needed to be said, so nothing else to unpack there. And I'll just underscore for people on the side, because I come from, you know, finance. I want to just say, right, that you don't have to be a luxury brand to make money. You need to choose who your target customers are and then have a business model, right, that will pay all your bills and more, right? So if you want to sell $20 t-shirts, that's fine, cuz they don't have to be $200, but you better figure out how you sell a bunch of them. You better figure out how to show up at trade shows, right, and sell 10,000 at a time. Get your MBE and WBE certification so that you can be on corporate, right? Like, it's your business model, right? Or you can move up market. That's why I call moving up market. And you say, well, no, like now I want to actually go to the people who are middle class, or I want to go to the people who are elite, right, and give them premium packages. Cool. You better make sure that what's inside of those packages are better than what, you know, was right there at the $20 t-shirt level, right? Give them more. Give them white glove service where they can have you on demand or whatever, right? So it's not necessarily that everybody has to move up here. You just need to pick your market and choose your business model. If you up here, you don't got to talk to a whole bunch of people. If you down here, figure out scale, period, right? Like, that's your responsibility. Love what y'all are bringing out. So, Cortezia, like you, speaking of these brands, right? You have Google certification, Bing certification, right? You've gotten some elite performance awards in the past for the work that you've done. How do these certifications, getting this formalized training, if you will, help or impact how you show up for your clients today?
So with the certifications, I used to work at the Yellow Pages. I know people don't really use the Yellow Pages anymore, but I got those when I was at the Yellow Pages. They required us to get them, and I literally was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And like when we were going through it, I didn't see the value at first. And I didn't see the value because I was in the search engine optimization area, working with Google Ads. The salespeople would bring in stuff, and they would, like they had a whole 5th floor of salespeople. And what I wouldn't give for a whole row of salespeople, I'm not gonna lie to you, very vital. But they would bring things up there, and people didn't understand how important it was to have a presence online. They thought that just by listing their business on the Yellow Pages, that was giving them visibility. Yes, it is to people that go to yp.com, but you're sitting there and going through and and actually running the ads, doing the keywords, having negative and positive keywords, it opened my eyes to a new world, a whole new world. So the certifications have helped me, not because I say I'm certified, but because it opened my eyes to different knowledge. It opened my eyes to things that I had never experienced before.
Right.
And being able to tell people, hey, this is what works and this is what doesn't work. Even when I build websites for people, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to show up on Google. Okay, what about showing up on Bing too? Because some people use Bing. They don't change from Bing. You have to think about how you're showing up, period. And making sure you have your checklist down where you have, like, I know y'all have seen websites where y'all go there or y'all have done a Google search where somebody's looking up sweet potato pie recipes or fried chicken, or you looking up, the person you're supposed to go on a blind date with, or you're supposed to go on a date with them, and you look them up and you see inmate. What the heck is this? Like it's out of order. And what you got going on, you like, is he gonna be an inmate when he pull up? When I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, and getting into that, because I went from at the Yellow Pages, starting out with search engine optimization in the search department. Then I went to the web design department. When I went to the web design department, knowing what I knew from there, knowing that I can use a competitor's name as a part of your keywords to pull people in, I was like, shut up. Like I was literally on the phone with somebody and they was like, is that illegal? No.
No.
It's not. Y'all do the same thing. And that goes back to what I said before. I don't believe in competition. But if somebody, like she said, 3 clients, $15,000, listen, if I can work less, I can only take in a certain amount of people within my limited bandwidth. I'm just going to be honest. And I had to be honest with that because I have ADHD and because I have my narcolepsy. Like they meet my mental stuff hit in the middle and then I fall asleep.
That's it. Yep.
So I'm sitting here like, okay, how can I make this work? How can I tell people about branding and tell them about the technical elements? Because I was like, I nerd out about things like that. I nerd out about it because a lot of people out here, businesses fail within their first year. Black businesses fail at a higher rate within the first 18 months. So the scale is significantly different for Caucasian businesses versus white businesses. So when you're looking at that and you're like, how can I, as Akia said, fail forward? Making sure that you have this organic element. That's where my certifications come in. I'm Googling being certified. You don't care. You don't care what you want. You don't even know what that means. What you want to know is that I'm going to implement wording and messaging on your website that is going to consistently bring you customers and convert them because they know what they actually looking for. There are girls out here that's like, especially in the beauty industry, that's jumping up like, oh, I got these whimsical lashes and I call it Sasha. Nobody cares that you call it Sasha. Nobody cares. It's like irrelevant. Like you can literally stand in the middle of the street and say the word Sasha, and a bunch of people can come out their house and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you looking for Sasha? She down the street." Mm-hmm. No, my lashes are called Sasha. Mm-hmm. And for that to like plummet from all of that, like you can get any certification you want, mm-hmm. and you can get any certification you want. If you want to be a life coach, get a certification. If you want to do that, but I'm going to say operate in integrity. The certifications, because people don't even know about my certifications at all, because I'm giving you information. I'm giving you value. I've even had people when I was on Clubhouse, and you can spot a fraud. Utilize your discernment when you're meeting these people, where she was saying all of a sudden, she was selling beauty products. Then she came over and she was like, "Oh, I'm an email marketer. I'm a specialist in email marketing." I was like, I gotta hear this. I am all ears. I'm Petty McGee. Like, so I got it. So when she started talking, here I go. I was like, you know what? Let me go to Google.
That's it.
I looked on email marketing, and she read the first page from Klaviyo.
Girl, no.
She was reading the first page from Klaviyo. She had no in-depth knowledge. It was nothing that was like really like getting into it. And that's where I'm saying, if you're going to jump out here and you're going to get these certifications and you're going to be able to provide knowledge to people, operate in integrity. And I'm also going to say, for people that are scared for meeting with somebody that's in branding or that does websites, I get most of my customers from people who are like, listen, I invested $700-800 in this person. You know what? If somebody is saying, I do a website for $50, guess what? If they're operating on doing your website for 4 to 6 hours, they're paying themselves less than minimum wage. If you're trusting them with your brand to make 6 figures,
it's real.
It's not gonna work. It's not functioning. It's not gonna give what it's supposed to give. It's not gonna understand the assignment. Nothing at all. There's a girl who is actually really popular. Her name is Jada Cheese. If she came out with a brand called Wait a Minute. And I know I'm pronouncing it wrong because it's probably supposed to be more ebonical than that, or colloquial. Whatever you prefer. So I went to her website. And you want to know what it means? Popularity will sell things, but it won't give you longevity.
Yeah.
Her whole messaging on her website, like I went to Uber Suggest, I saw she was pinging off of certain stuff, but she was basing it off of her popularity. She got to show up and do these big acts and all this other stuff and appear in the shade room just to seem popular. Mm-hmm. What she didn't have was somebody to help her with her product from Jump Street. Nobody was certified in helping her from Jump Street. Her items are thin quality. People are recording that. She didn't have a sizing chart on there on each item. These are things that are part of the website that I learned from my certifications that help convert people.
Right.
That help convert people. All in all, if you are struggling with getting sales and you're struggling with being visible and you're like, what am I going to do? You can't just sit here and post like you got having a garage sale every day on Instagram, hoping people will come. It's not if you post, they will come. It's not going to work like that. Not unless you have the popularity behind it. Right. Now, there are some people that are popular and they can't even sell 36 shirts.
Right.
Okay. So you have to understand that as you're going through this process, of operating a business, number one, record everything you're going through. Record it all, because it's going to be a part of how you're going to teach other people from what you're going through. I'm not going to reach everybody. Akia not going to reach everybody. Casey not going to reach everybody. We're not going to reach everybody, right? Record your process. And when you're recording your process, that becomes a part of your brand story of everything you went through. And when you are meeting up with people that are saying that they're certified, saying that they understand branding, saying that they design logos, ask questions.
That's right.
That's it.
Ask questions. Okay, branding, what part of branding? Are you designing the website yourself? Is it your team? How are you presenting yourself? How are you showing up? If you want to talk about a photographer, ask them how they edit their photos. If you want to talk about a logo design, how are they designing your logo? Are they designing it in Canva? Are they designing Illustrator? What are they doing? Do they know your ideal customer before they even pick up a single morsel of your money?
Love it.
That's it.
You can be certified and be a certified loser because you keep doing the same thing over and over again, because you like, oh, woe is me. I gave my $50 to this person. I went through and I did this because I wanted a cartoon logo to be like everybody else. Guess what? It's no such thing as saturation. Such thing as saturation. As long as you have it branded well. And a part of the certifications that you need in order to be able to build and to grow what you have going on will include your ability to show up powerfully and connect with your audience. You don't care about my certifications. You don't care about Bing. You don't care about Google. Guess what? It only looks good on my resume. And because I don't work for nobody.
Oh, come on now.
I don't work for nobody. It don't matter. But can I change the way you show up? Can I change your visibility? Can I change those things online? And then you're going to also have to forgive yourself. A lot of people out here are suffering from business hurt. They've been hurt and burned by people, and they want to be like, oh, why I got to pay $1,200 and I already invested all this money with somebody else, whatever. Guess what? That's in the past. Lick your wounds.
Nothing doing me.
Lick your wounds, jump up, bounce back, and you're going to have to make a real investment rather than crying over the $50 website that you invested in that was full of glitter. It did not relate to anything that you had going on, and it did not draw on your ideal customer. So I just want y'all to understand that you don't give a damn about my certifications.
It's all good.
You don't care. But am I going to get, I do plan on getting more certifications, but that's for my knowledge. That's for my growth. That's for me to get better. So people that do care about names, you can look it up, but you don't care and I don't care.
Man, I can't wait to follow your journey, Kasizi, because you effortlessly minister, right? Like you understand that as business owners, we're still people, right? We show up with our insecurities, our disabilities, our lack, right? Our overflow, and you hit all of that. And kudos to you for breaking down the important point of it's not about, you don't take these courses or do these certifications or whatever to be impressive to somebody. It's because you know that you want to show up with integrity, right? And I think I don't even care if you're doing branding or not, if you've fully started the business or not, like keep that gem from Khadijah, because there are people that are hurt out here because somebody lied to them and somebody promised big bucks, right? But didn't have depth of knowledge, right? And so they just lost money. Like, do the things you need to do. And it may, like Khadijah's hinting to, right? It may be in a various, it might be because you hired a coach. It might be because you take a course. It might be because you go get, do a program. But invest in knowledge, right? So that you can really, really, really show up and actually, like Akia was talking about, go from strength to strength, right? Because your customers are going to advance. Are you in that realm they operate in after they finish your first thing? Well, you are if you continue to invest in your knowledge, right? I love that so much. I'm so happy y'all are here. Y'all are powerhouses. So I'm going to, I hate to, but I'm going to start wrapping this up because we're hitting the hour. But Akia, speaking of, some of these changes and going from strength to strength, the branding Bandit Academy is rebranding. So I don't know if you want to talk about the new name here or not, but
We can.
okay. Opulent branding. What are some of the innovative things that you're doing to kind of create transformation for your clients, right? Like, there's a lot out there, right? Especially with the pandemic, right? Everybody online with, some solutions.
Yes.
But what are some of the really innovative ways that you're showing up to help your clients and give them branding knowledge?
So when I thought about, my next phase in my branding journey, right? Because everybody has a buyer's journey. So I have to buy into me. Well, for me, it was looking at, okay, what word can I give people that I can spread joy when they hear it, make a presence, but also take all my tools, knowledge, experience, gain, and give. So that's where Opulent came from. I was actually on the phone rapping with another brand designer, and we got to talk. I'm like, listen, I'm stuck on my rebrand because guess what? I can get stuck too. I need a name. It needs to be different. I have to go somewhere else because I want to give my clients the ability to know that they're walking in wealth. And wealth might not always mean a financial dollar. Wealth could be mind, education, knowledge, because we seek wise counsel, right? So that's what all of this could mean for you if you deal with Opulent branding. That doesn't mean I'm here to take $50,000, $60,000 from you. Now don't get it twisted. If you want to sign on for a year, we got you.
Yeah,
we got you. We'll make that point for you.
Right.
But it was more so teaching people like you can still give this amazing presence, but you're gonna walk it. You're gonna talk it. We're gonna work. Opulent. If we're gonna build wealth, we're gonna learn how to build wealth from one avenue and make pillars of money off of it. If you sell bundles, okay, cool. Let's sell some bundles. Let Opulent branding rebrand you. But also you're gonna come up with packages to assess your brand, to talk to your clients, to eat, sleep, and drink what it's gonna be for you. You want to give them that same experience that we're giving you. And in so many words, we're actually teaching people how to take that brand standard and how to operate. Because some people actually, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And I promise I don't have a problem with it. But if your ass don't get in here and treat these people like they're your cousins and they're really not your cousins, and you're not, treating them above reproach so they can return, then this ain't for you. When you go out there and you make that statement and you want to be branded, you're making that ability to say, hey, I've been failing, but I'm not failing to the point that I don't want to grow, but I have to elevate. So what is this elevation of my brand going to be for me when I go to that next level? Who can help me? Because sometimes we seek wise counsel from the masses, and the masses ain't it. Sometimes the masses will fail us. And so for me, my biggest problem was I had to fail up. So in order to fail up, it was the rebrand. Because the branding band, I swear I love my name, y'all. I eat, sleep, and live it. But the word bandit could just be thrown out of context depending on your audience. And since we want to touch all facets of money in the sense of we don't want somebody to walk away from us because they didn't understand the name. Yeah, I'm here to steal the show. We want to make the brand, we want to steal the show, but we've outgrown that. It's going on 2 years. It's done what it's done. It's plateaued. And I've had to understand that in order for me to grow as truly an expert in branding strategist, I had to re-strategize me. And if anybody really pays attention to branding and anything that we're talking about it, branding is really core. It's personal. It really starts from personal branding and being authentic with yourself. So the moment you decide that you don't want to be authentic with yourself, your brand is always going to fold, just like dominoes when we tap them. So that's how I feel about my rebrand. That's where I want to be with it because the experiences, and I even chose my brand color palette based off of the emotional guide of branding. Yeah. Green means strength. It means wealth. It means maturity. So guess what? Opulent branding has grown, it's matured, and it's continued to escalate. So we have methods now. We have taglines that are basically built in a stream of teaching our clients through our program. Like literally, we have a continuously core product that's coming out, and to the point that it can go great and be passive if the companies that come to us allow us to give them that. I got clients right now that are making $15,000 a month in a boutique, but she wants more. She wants opulent branding. And guess what? The 15 things that we put together for her are gonna do just that, because she's actually not even doing them. And just like Cortesia said, y'all don't care about what my credentials are. You don't care what I've been doing in my life. You just know I look like you, I talk like you. You have an envisionment of what it could be if you dealt with us. And that's the brand that you want represent your brand, because you're coming to us as, collateral, right? I'm giving you my money. I'm holding, hoping that you're gonna hold my hand and hug me. I'm gonna hold you to a certain extent, because I feel like, I don't know Cortesia, but if she's anything like I hear already, she like me. Don't come over here playing with me.
Right.
This my brand. This what we finna make this money. But this is what we do. And I love the fact that she calls herself the brand architect, because my program that I have, that I give to my clients, that I trademark, the blueprint to brand it. This is what we're here for. The foundational piece of everything you do in life is authenticity of the brand. If the brand stands up, everybody will follow. And that's on God. That's real. Look at how we follow Nike. We'll know them people from Oregon, but time and time again, they've never dropped the ball.
Listen, all I know is that Tommy ain't never had a job on Martin.
That's it. And got the best brand.
I love that. That's fire. And I love the thought process behind it, right? Because as you're moving up market, right, you're saying, all right, well, the branding banner ain't gonna resonate, right? I need, right, a branding identity that will resonate with these types of clients that are willing to spend this kind of money, right? So I'm happy you shared that too, right? Because branding is a science, right? This ain't art class. And art has a science too, right? But it's not you just having fun, right? I think that's what these ladies are unpacking for you. There is a science and a methodical approach to this thing. Super fire. Man, y'all are so dope. I'm sad to let this go. I guess at this point, right, I want to just give each of you a few moments to share anything that you want to leave with the thousands of Black female entrepreneurs that are out here showing up because we said, let me hold your hand. Cortesia, I'll start with you. Anything you want to leave with the ladies?
I'll say this, you may hate your branding right now, but you need to just show up. You need to show up. People need to see you. People need to know you. They need to like, know, and trust you. And a lot of people are so afraid of showing themselves, showing their vulnerabilities. I know I grew up in a household where it's like, you keep your business in the house. You don't let that go out there. So one thing that I did do that I'm so proud of is I created a program where it teaches your children how to work for you in digital marketing. Wow. You may not feel comfortable with doing it, but you can. I know y'all done seen that meme around. Hire your kids, pay them $12,000, and you can write it off on your taxes. They didn't give all the information.
All the information, yeah.
they gave you a screenshot. It was a little bit. So with the program, I'm actually I did a beta group where I'm actually teaching these kids digital marketing. They're learning brand story. They're learning how to design websites. They know Wix, they know Shopify. They know how to go on Canva. They know how to go in Illustrator. They know how to do all of these different components in order to be able to build somebody's brand, and they leave with a portfolio. So, they actually created a children's book. I had them create a children's book about an ant, and they were just very creative about it. So to get over those difficulties and fears that people have about going online or getting, understanding technology, our kids grew up in technology. So why not hire them to do that for you? I had a typewriter when I was in middle school, because we couldn't afford a computer. So the ability now, knowing that these kids know how to TikTok, they know how to whatever the popular dance is now, whoa, and sometimes I have to Google the name of these popular people because I don't know their name. So the ability to hire your kids and do it legally and have them to do something that they already know, and then they can actually go and build their own digital agency with their peers and teach them how to build their businesses. So that is something that I am, and it's called the Digital Sensei program. Yeah. And I love it so much. I'm working on getting funding for it so that I can eventually provide computers to my students and show them how to like literally go out there and get to the money, as well as work for their parents. And that solves the problem that Akia was talking about earlier. You don't have employees, but you want your kids to work for you. They need a job. You don't want to do everything, right? Make them your photographer. Make that actually work. So that is something that I'm just so proud of, and I just want to be able to, help people. So if you do have kids and you want them to work for you, they already using technology. They tweet.
Sign my baby up. I'm serious. She's ready. Baby, listen. You see all these iPads in here? What you want her to do? What you want her to learn? What you want her to learn? Because she'll sign up. She loves this stuff. Sign her up. Just inbox me, baby. What we gotta pay? Come on.
And I actually started teaching my 5-year-old Canva, so I'm trying to test the limits on how far it can go. I want y'all to understand that you can do anything. September 1st marked 5 years since I had a car accident that I thought that I was gonna die. And the car flipped over. And when the car flipped over, there was a stick poking through the other side. And they was like, if anybody would have been in the car, they would have died. I left with just road rash on my arm, and they couldn't understand why the car flipped towards the trees and the road rash was on my left arm. They was like, the way you got hit, it should have went towards the other way, and that would have killed you. When I tell you that things happen for a reason, so anything that you're going through, anything that you're feeling, anything that where you feel like I'm less than, deal with it. Deal with those issues. Don't be afraid to deal with them. And if you need help, you can reach out to anybody here and we'll be there for you. But you got to understand your power in overcoming these things. You got to understand your power and your ability to be able to connect. If you are an introvert, be powerful in being an introvert. And I really, really hope that y'all are able to, and if you, and this is gonna be the very last thing, sorry, if you don't have a coach in your business and you are trying to get over these roadblocks, when I tell you, God just was like, listen, you need help. We can't be Christians of the faith and not sit here and say, I believe in God, but I don't believe in the people of God that he's putting in my life to be able to help me. The same way he blessed a doctor's hands to be able to go in and do surgery. He's blessed and anointed certain coaches. And again, utilize your discernment, coaches and accountants and people that can go in your life to unlock these things so you don't have to work so hard to make money. You don't have to work hard to reach your 100K years, 100K months. That was a lie. We were told that we had to work hard our whole lives to be able to make money. At first, it's gonna feel dirty. It's gonna be like, oh my God, I made this much money and I didn't kill myself. I didn't get sick in the middle of it.
Right.
You're going to feel dirty. It's going to happen. But guess what? The time you get to spend more time on caring for yourself, your kids, your family, not missing out on Christmases because you're forced to work holidays.
That's it.
So unlock your branding power. When you unlock your branding superpower and get you a coach that can unlock these things for you, I promise you, your business and everybody else around you, even your sex life gonna be better. You're just gonna be happy. Okay?
Hey.
Chills. What about you, Akia? What do you want to leave?
That's your pressure on every day of the week. No matter who is saying you shouldn't apply it, always press the gas. And I'll tell you guys this, if you don't believe nothing, when I say you have the ability to change your life in any way you want, a small synopsis about me that nobody would ever believe, even with my, my corporate career, I have 4 felonies for something I never did. That is why I am divorced.
Talk about it.
In the military, when you're married to somebody and they get in trouble, and if they drag you in it and he did stuff in my name and in my social, you can't get divorced. You guys have to go through the court proceedings as such, and you basically take that lick as a family. See, they don't talk about that in the military. They don't talk about the ugly side.
Talk about that.
I lost everything. When I tell you everything, I lost my job. I had to move back home with my mama. I was pregnant. It was so much going on, right? And, I didn't sleep on myself. Those 4 felony charges will not and do not define me. So when people sit up here and say, well, I can't do this, I got that, that's a damn lie. Yeah, if I got 4 felonies, I have my casino pit license, I have certification for HR, and I have my PMP stuff. Everything requires level 2 FBI checks, and I went to nursing school and completed it.
Gee.
You just have to know how to work within your compass, your brand compass of how to be an authentic. And that was me learning the system, learning how the consumer law works in my favor, and understanding what I had to do to keep applying pressure so I could keep touching this bag. And not just the entrepreneur bag, just the bag in general. I like to carry Louis Vuitton bags. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I do. That's my thing. But within that habit, right, you have to learn how to apply pressure when, how you need to turn the stove up, how much gas you need to, ignite the flame. So I tell all of you guys to tell this, nothing defines you unless you allow it. If this is something that you want, do it. If I could do it with 4 felonies, and I've never missed a bag because of those 4 felonies, and they're federal charges, right. Wire fraud, conspiracy, wiretap. What else? He has some other stuff. One day I'm gonna print the page out and I'm gonna post it on Facebook because I didn't beat the charges. Now we 10 years behind. I didn't beat him, went to court, paid my restitution damage that he did in my name, because you got to pay back all the damage, regardless if you did it or not. I'm still moving in my capacity. I'm still getting high clientele. I'm still seeing the money that I want plus some. So because I, Akia, applied the pressure. Nothing's gonna define me but me. Can't on no day. So for anybody here, don't ever feel like, well, I don't have this amount of money, I can't do this. That's a lie. I started a whole journal dropshipping company without $1. Yeah. And it dropships by stuff, all organic. I don't touch it. Yeah. Anything you want is doable. But what you guys have to learn, stop allowing other people to define your future. Stop seeking information from the masses and go educate yourself. So when you do get that money up to buy a coach, i.e. me, Cortesia, Casey, Akia, you need to be just as smart as the people you're employing, because that makes or break your brand too. Nobody should be smarter about your brand. That's what that pressure, that whole pressure, you have to apply it, because when you're just one of the smartest people in the room, you never have to talk. Your brand is going to do it for you. So Akia makes sure she educates herself. Very intuitive. Very, there's not much. I'm always taking notes. Like we sitting here talking, I took notes. This is the panel. So what? That don't mean I can't learn. Everything's learning, baby. So for anybody here, please know there's nothing wrong with being pressure. If you want that big 5-carat diamond, go get that lump of coal and heat it up. Get in that coal mine and dig, and keep digging, and keep pouring into yourself, and keep digging. Your diamond will come. It may be rough. Look at my journey. 10 years with 4 felonies for something I never did. But guess what? I got everything I want, plus some, and my kids are great. So if that's the lifestyle you seek, it may not happen tomorrow. You have to keep applying pressure, because you don't know when that diamond is going to come from that coal. You can't be strong this week and then down for 5. The diamond will never come up. It's never going to come. So for anybody here, just know you got it. It's yours. Girl, you got this shit on any 3 of these women on this panel, us 3, we'll tell you on any day, you got it. Keep drinking the juice and know that everybody wants to drink from you and make them thirsty.
Woo! I just want to say that I'm grateful. to both of you. I'm so grateful to both of you because it is because of women like you. It is because of transparent, not giving a damn, showing up, authentic women like you that I've been able to tap into my dreams. Because people like you were visible, and there's still not enough of us out here telling our stories, right? Being very real about it, taking the mask off and saying, "Wow, like actually, this is who I am, right? This is how powerful I am." And I just want to echo everything they're saying. I have been in Africa since February on vacation, right? And I'm an entrepreneur, right? Working and growing my business in the US from Africa since February, and booking, 5-figure,
That's it.
right? But I'm in Africa, right? So you can literally create the life of your dreams, right? Like you decide what wealth looks like for you. You decide what freedom looks like for you. You decide the level of flexibility you need. Some of you want a whole bunch of it. That ain't lazy, that ain't slack, right? You got agency. That's everything, right? You decide what fulfillment looks like for you. And I thank you both for unpacking this very scary, to be honest. It's very scary topic for people because we don't know the vocabulary around it. We haven't been taught, right, what science this really is, and you made it so palatable and so easy to understand. So thank you so much. Y'all go enjoy the rest of the summit. Take care.